So we proceed with the queries. To create queries, you must have tables. And therefore, we shall create our queries from voters. Like, for example, I need to go to create. Then once I go to create, then I go to create. Then I can just go to query design. Then I need to create a voters query. I double click on it. Then you just pull this. Now double click, they will align themselves. Double click, that way until the end. But you can also confirm that all the fields have been entered. So after doing that, you can just run to see whether it's running. You can see a query is running, and therefore we can just right click here and save it as voters queue. That means voters query. In case you need to create any other query, you can just go to query design. Like now I want to create that one of contestants, like that. Therefore contestant ID, name, post. Then you test whether it's working. Save it, right click, save. This is contestants queue, like that. So you create the queries as you wish. Then from here, I wish to show you how you can filter and also how you can sort using query. So we start by looking at the voters query. Now, if you look at the way this data is, it is not really arranged according to how it should be. So you can like see number 1 is done, number 3 follows, but they are disorganized. So I want to sort them in according to voter ID in descending order or ascending order. Let me use a descending order. So what you need to do, you just need to go to this point here, sort, this one sort, and then choose ascending order. So that way you have sorted, then just save it. Then once you save, just run. You'll notice that this one has changed. It has now taken number 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, the way it should be. So that is how you can sort. On the other hand, I want to add some guys here. Like now I can add Jebet Kirimo. This one is from Kericho. Year of birth 1985. So we can also add James Koibu. James Koibu votes from Kisumu and was born in 1969. So those are enough. So I want to produce those guys who will be voting in Kisumu. That is filtering using a query. What I'm supposed to do is to right click, then go to design view, then just go to where the location is, here, where the location is, then type Kericho, that way. So for that case, once I do that, I will be in a position to only produce those guys who come from Kericho. So you can see what I have done. This is Kericho. So that means I have succeeded filtering. You may also wish to filter those guys whose name start with letter A. So right click, go to design view, then just go to asterisk A. Voter's name here. You write asterisk A that way, then save and run. You see you get Ariroba and Abdi. So those are the types of filtering talking about. On the other hand, you realize that you could calculate the age. You could calculate the age of these guys in a table. If I wish to calculate them in a query, let me create a query called age using this field here. So I just go to query design. Then I use the voters. I cross this. So I want us to calculate the age. So what I'm supposed to do here is to go down here and then have the voter's name, year of birth, and current year. Then this one, I can just save it as age query. Then if I run this, you'll only see the year of birth and current year. So I need to add a calculated field. So to add a calculated field, you just go to calculate, here in the field, you just go to this point, add age. Then from age, you just put the formulas. You put the formula here. Okay, so what you need to do here, you come to this point here. This is where we have age. Put a full colon. Age equals to bracket, current year, minus year of birth. That way. So you also need to tick this. If you don't tick this, just see this one is written show. So if you don't tick, it will not be displayed. So this is age, the current year minus year of birth. Let's see whether it works. So you just need to run it, and then you see the same age that was found from the table. So you need to use the tables that is queries to perform calculations, and you do it in the field name here, this line, just like I have done. That's how you do that. Then we also have types of queries up here. We have types of queries. We have select query, make table query, append query, update query, cross tab, and read. These are the types of queries. It is also written query type, so you can do more research on types of queries. You can also watch more videos from my YouTube on how to go about that one. Then from there, we proceed to how you create forms. There are many ways of creating forms. For instance, I would wish to show you the quickest way of creating a form. Therefore, you just click, like now I want to use the voters query. You click on it, then you click on this icon. It produces a form within a second. You see, it produces a form within a millisecond. Therefore, you can use that method to produce a form. Alternatively, just go to where forms are here. Go to form wizard. Therefore, I want to use this table. You choose the table or query from here. I want to use the voters query. I send everything to my right hand side, next. Then I go to columnar, next. Then from here, I may have the voters form. Then I click on finish. So you still get, I have created a form similar to the other one, only that this one has been created by a wizard. There is also somebody else, though this one is a bit difficult. It is a bit hard, whereby somebody may opt to use to create a form from scratch. That is called design view. So you can hit that. Then from there, you right click any place here. You choose form header and footer to have the form header and footer down here. Then you go to property sheet here. This is the property sheet. You click on or, then record source here. You choose voters query. Then after doing that, you see here you are coming from properties, you click on add existing feeds. These are the feeds, so you click the first one up to the last one, then you drag them to the form. Then you rearrange them, You drag them to the form, can just undo, Control Z. Then once you drag them this way, you then take them to where you want. This is the design view way of doing it. Then probably you may pull this a bit. So after doing this, you need to come down here and pull this up. You pull this up to somewhere like that. Then right click, you put some color if you need to be, and put some color. So this is another form. But when you run it, you see it is a bit different. This one we have created from scratch. This is called design view. So basically, you can just repeat the steps I have followed from the video, since you can replay, and come up with forms in design view of all these tables. Tables and queries are used the same way when it comes to creating a form in design view. You can also produce, pull this, then come to this point. You don't take a B, you take a it's called label. Then you type the heading here. Therefore, the heading can be voters register. register. Then you click outside here, then inside, go to format. You want to increase the font size, so you just go and put something like 28, and then you put search. So when I run it, when I go home and view, this is what I have. But on the other hand, you may opt to add some buttons here. So right click, go to design view. You want to add buttons here for next, previous, etc. You usually go and click on this button XXX and draw it. The wizard launches. So I want to put next button. Therefore I go to next, text, finish. Again I go to this button here. Then I go to previous, next. Here you choose text, then finish. That way. Okay, so far I have two buttons. So I want to add a new, draw it, go to record operations, add a new, next, text, finish. Lastly, we add a button for cross form. So I go to that button, draw it here. I go to form operations, cross form, next, text, finish. So this is the cross form button. Then after doing that, if now I save and run, I can just call it form 1. This way, you see now it will be scrolling next button, next. You see now it is working as intended. Previous. If I hit add new, it will bring a blank wherever. Then I can use it to add. Like now, let's add William Ruto. President William Ruto, there will be voting. Location, let's say Nyeri. Date of birth, I don't know. Let me just give him a date of birth like 1974. Then date of registration, you can choose here from the calendar. Registration fee, let's say 2,000. Then age, you see the age will be populated. The age will be populated. It will be populated that way. Then contestant president. You see? So if I click on add new, next, I need to click on this one. Okay, contestants. Okay, we need to add the contestants in the related field. But basically here, if you click on add, then previous, you realize that this guy has been captured. And that means when I go to voters register, you're in a position to see William Ruto is added there. That is how that one works. Also, this small process here will show you that there is some relationship between these tables. On the other hand, we can also look at how we can create reports. How do we create reports? It is very similar. Creating reports is very similar to creating forms. But reports sometimes are easier since you don't really need to create them in design view. Therefore, for example, if I want to calculate this age query, I just click on it, then click on this button, this first button, report. It produces a report within a click of a button. You see, it has a very attractive report and within a second. Then we can also create next one, contestants query. You just hit that one, give it some seconds, it produces for you the report. Then we can also produce the next one, voters register, just hit this one, it produces for you. But there are some guys who would wish to use the wizard to do the same, only that the way I have showed you is the easiest on earth. But if you wish to use others, you can just go to report wizard, again, choose the query, send everything to the right hand side, next. Here you can choose what I want it to be in ascending order, next, then finish. That is the wizard. You see, the wizard has created a report, but this report needs a lot of attention. It needs you to go and customize by right-clicking and going to design view and tampering with these ones. You need to change the font sizes of this, which is a lot of work, because I have to go there, change that one, you see, so that I also review to see. You see now it's a lot of work, but if you use this other method that I have used, it has produced a report that is organized and has been fixed according to standards. So I would advise you use this one. That is use the direct one. You can also go to contestants, hit on it, it will produce for you the contestants that way. So that's how you can really work on reports. But in case you may need to design a report from scratch, you can hit this button, report design, just like we have done in the forms. Then go to property sheet here. The record source, you choose whatever you want to use. I want to use which one? I want to use this one, age. Where is age? Age query. Once you choose from the record source, you hit add existing fields. Then you can bring them one by one. We're removing the label. The label is the one that is on your right hand side. So you don't need to label, so you can do the same. Remove the label. Then age, remove the label. Therefore you take them to good position. Then down here you come and pull this. You pull this upwards until it hits the last record there. Then here you go to this point, take a label, and then draw one by one. This is voter's name. This is year of birth. Year of birth. Then we have the next one. The next one is current year. Current year. Then you have the age. You have the age. So after doing this, you highlight. Then you go to format. You put them bold. You choose this one. Then you can also pull this down a bit. Take this one somewhere there. And then go to design, take the label, type the heading. The heading can be voters age. Then click outside, inside, go to format, center right, then 20, like that. Then after doing that, you can save it as report 1. Let's open report 1 and see what we have done. There we are, guys. You see now we have designed a report from scratch. But you can also remove these boxes, the rectangle. You can just highlight them, highlight everything, go to properties, then go to backstyle. Here you get backstyle. Backstyle, you choose transparent. You choose transparent, then run. Oh, it has removed the upper one, but the downwards, not yet. So highlight the downwards, go to backstyle here, border style, solid, put transparent, save and run. There we are. So you'll notice that we have created a report, and also we have created that is a form from scratch. On the other hand, let's create macros. Here you see there is macro. If you are keen enough, you realize that we have started from tables, queries, forms, reports, and now macros. So what I need to do is to create a macro. For example, if you need to create a macro in this form here, I may need a button. When I click, it opens a table or a query. So I need to create a macro for that case. So I just need to go to macro. Here you just type open table. Open table. You hit enter. Then choose the table you want the macro to open. I want it to open voters. So I save it. I save it as open voters table for easy identification. Then from there, right click cross. Then from the form you want, right now I want to put it in this form, voters queue. So I go to design view of the form, right click design view. I want to put the button. So I come here, I draw a button. You can draw a button here. In the button, then say open. This is a toggle button. Open table voters. So on this button, I will go to the here event procedure. Then on click, what happens? Open voters, because that is the macro. I have gone on click. That means if now I run this form of mine, I click this button, you see, it opens the voters table. That's how macros works. You can also create a macro whereby it will give a message it will give a message when it gives a message when it opens. So you just come to this point, type MSG box, MSG box, MSG box. Then you hit enter. The message is welcome to Voters program. Then title, welcome. This will be a message box so that I can save it. This is message, welcome. So let's see. When you run, you see it brings the message, welcome to Voters program. Welcome to Voters program. That is the macro of message box. So we can put it in this form. Right click, go to design view. Then we go to event on road here. On road, you do what? Run message welcome. You see on road here. On road, do what? Run message welcome. So let's see, save it and run. You see now, when it loads, it will first of all give you the message welcome. See, it will first of all run the macro. Then when you click on OK, it launches the form. So thank you very much for watching. That is the end of Microsoft Access, what you need to know to pass KCSE and also to pass any other exam. Because basically there are more advanced access things and tools that you need to know. But basically for now, whatever I have taken you through is enough to pass an exam and also to advance, to help you advance in databases. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe.